Beyond the pocket change we encounter daily lies a hidden world of numismatic treasures that might be sitting in your collection, tucked away in an inheritance, or even jingling in your pocket right now. I'm talking about dimes, those small, unassuming coins that most people barely glance at, that can be worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. Today, we're diving deep into three extraordinary American dimes that have captivated collectors and changed lives: the 1965 silver Roosevelt dime transitional error, the 1993 double die obverse dime, and the infamous 2015 P. Roosevelt dime with the speared bison reverse. These aren't just coins, they're metallic time capsules with fascinating stories that connect us to pivotal moments in American minting history. Let's start with what might be hiding in your change jar right now: the 1965 silver Roosevelt dime transitional error. This coin represents one of the most significant transitions in American coinage, and finding one is like discovering a small piece of monetary history that wasn't supposed to exist. In 1964, a critical shift occurred in American coinage. Due to rising silver prices, the U.S. government made the monumental decision to remove silver from our dimes and quarters. The Coinage Act of 1965 mandated that beginning in 1965, dimes would no longer contain 90% silver but would instead be composed of a copper-nickel clad composition. This marked the end of silver's role in our everyday circulating currency, a tradition dating back to the founding of our nation. During this transition, something remarkable happened. A small number of 1965 dated dimes were accidentally struck on silver planchets, the metal discs that become coins, instead of the new copper-nickel composition. In the confusion of changing over production lines, some leftover silver blanks found their way into the presses, creating coins that, by law, shouldn't exist. These are what numismatists call transitional errors, coins struck on a planchet composition that was officially discontinued. What makes these 1965 silver dimes so special is that they're effectively government mistakes that escaped into circulation. They look identical to regular 1965 dimes at first glance, which means one could be hiding in your collection right now. You won't spot them by appearance alone, they require weighing or testing. A standard copper-nickel clad dime weighs 2.27 grams, while these silver transitional errors weigh about 2.5 grams. That small weight difference represents an enormous value difference. The 1965 silver dime is exceptionally rare. While the exact number in existence remains unknown, numismatic experts estimate that fewer than 20 have been confirmed. Some specialists believe the number could be higher, with undiscovered specimens still circulating or sitting forgotten in collections. Each discovery makes headlines in the coin collecting community. In terms of value, these transitional error dimes command impressive prices. Even in circulated condition, a genuine 1965 silver dime can fetch between $4,000 to $7,000. In uncirculated mint state condition, values soar to $10,000 or more. In 2019, a particularly well-preserved specimen graded MS-67 by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, sold at auction for an astounding $28,200. Imagine finding that in your pocket change. The story of the discovery of these coins adds another fascinating layer. The first confirmed 1965 silver dime wasn't identified until the 1990s, nearly 3 decades after it was minted. A collector examining coins with a digital scale noticed the weight discrepancy and realized he had found something extraordinary. Since then, the hunt has been on, with collectors scrutinizing rolls of 1965 dimes hoping to strike numismatic gold, or in this case, silver. One particularly interesting aspect of these coins involves their legal status. According to the Coinage Act of 1965, these dimes were struck illegally, as silver was no longer authorized for dime production after 1964. However, unlike some other famous error coins that were confiscated by the government, these transitional errors remain legal to own. The Treasury Department has never attempted to recall them, making them legitimate, if extremely valuable, collectibles. For those wondering how to identify a 1965 silver dime beyond weighing it, there are a few additional methods. A silver dime will have a different ring when dropped on a hard surface compared to a clad dime. Silver produces a higher pitched, clearer tone. Additionally, examining the edge of the coin can help. A silver dime shows a solid silver edge, while a clad dime reveals a copper sandwich layer between two nickel-colored layers. The condition of these rare transitional errors plays a crucial role in their valuation. Surprisingly, several of the known specimens are in remarkable condition, suggesting they may have been saved early on by mint employees who recognized their oddity. Grades range from well-worn examples that spent time in circulation to pristine specimens that somehow avoided the wear and tear of commerce. Another fascinating aspect of the 1965 silver dime is what it represents in American economic history. The removal of silver from circulating coinage marked the final severing of America's everyday money from precious metals. It was a practical decision driven by economics. Silver prices were rising, making the metal in a dime worth more than a dime itself, but it also represented a philosophical shift in how we view currency. These transitional errors are physical embodiments of that pivotal moment. The hunt for 1965 silver dimes has created its own subculture in the numismatic community. Some collectors specialize exclusively in searching for these and other transitional errors from the 1965 to 1967 period. They purchase original bank rolls of 1965 dimes, meticulously weighing each coin. While the odds of success are exceedingly slim, the potential reward makes the search worthwhile for many. There's a certain democratizing aspect to the 1965 silver dime that appeals to many collectors. Unlike some legendary rare coins that were recognized as special from day one and preserved accordingly, these dimes entered circulation alongside millions of ordinary examples. This means anyone, regardless of their connections or wealth, could potentially discover one. It's the numismatic equivalent of a lottery ticket, with examples potentially hiding in everyday places. One collector in Arizona discovered a 1965 silver dime in a mixed lot of coins he purchased at an estate sale for less than $100. The dime later sold for over $7,000. Another was found in a bank roll by a collector who had been searching for years without success. These stories fuel the dreams of treasure hunters and collectors alike. For those who collect Roosevelt dimes specifically, the 1965 silver transitional era represents the holy grail of the series. The Roosevelt dime, introduced in 1946 to honor the recently deceased president, is one of America's longest-running coin designs. While the series includes other valuable entries, like the 1949 S with a low mintage and the 1996 W that was only issued in mint sets, none approach the rarity or value of the 1965 silver transitional era. If you think you might have one of these rare treasures, proper authentication is essential. Unfortunately, counterfeiters have created fake examples by applying silver plating to regular clad dimes. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate suspected 1965 silver dimes through non-destructive testing methods that verify the coin's composition throughout, not just on the surface. For the serious collector or the casual coin enthusiast, the 1965 silver dime represents the perfect storm of numismatic interest, historical significance, extreme rarity, interesting origins, and substantial value. It's a physical connection to a pivotal moment in American monetary history and a reminder that extraordinary discoveries can still be made in the most ordinary places, even your pocket change. Our final treasure today brings us into the 21st century with a fascinating modern rarity, the 2015 P. Roosevelt dime. This exceptional error coin demonstrates that even in our era of computer-controlled minting and advanced quality control, remarkable mistakes can still occur and create valuable numismatic treasures worth many times their face value. The 2015 P. Roosevelt dime error is particularly intriguing because it represents one of the most visual and dramatic die errors of recent decades. During production at the Philadelphia Mint, a significant die break occurred, creating what collectors descriptively call a die gouge across the reverse of the coin. This gouge appears as a raised line that extends from the torch's flame down through the olive branch, creating a distinctive appearance that coin collectors quickly nicknamed the speared torch or torch die break dime. What makes this error especially remarkable is both its prominence and consistency. Unlike some die errors that show progressive deterioration over thousands of strikes, this particular die break appeared suddenly and produced a relatively consistent error across thousands of coins before being discovered and removed from production. The result is a dramatic raised line that catches the light when the coin is tilted, making it one of the few modern mint errors that can sometimes be spotted without magnification. The story of its discovery adds another fascinating layer to the 2015 P-error dime. The variety was first identified by a collector in the Midwest who noticed the unusual raised line while examining uncirculated rolls of 2015 Philadelphia dimes. After confirming it wasn't an isolated incident, the collector shared images on a popular online coin forum. Within days, collectors across the country were searching through mint sets, bank rolls, and circulation finds, documenting additional examples and establishing this as a significant modern variety. Unlike many errors that are caught by mint quality control, a substantial number of these speared torch dimes entered circulation before the damaged die was removed from service. Numismatic researchers estimate that between 5,000 and 10,000 examples were produced, making it scarce enough to command premium prices but available enough that dedicated collectors have a realistic chance of obtaining one. In terms of current market value, the 2015 P speared torch dime has shown impressive appreciation in its relatively short existence. Circulated examples typically sell for $25 to $75 depending on the clarity of the die break and overall condition. Uncirculated specimens certified by leading grading services can command $100 to $300, while premium examples graded MS 67 or higher have reached $500 to $900 at auction. One particularly exceptional specimen, graded MS 68 with full torch bands and showing an especially prominent die break, sold for just over $1,200 in a 2022 specialized error coin auction. What makes the 2015 P speared torch dime particularly interesting to collectors is how it compares to historical die break errors. In previous eras, die breaks were relatively common as dies wore out or were pushed beyond their intended lifespan to meet production quotas. However, in our modern minting era, with computerized monitoring and quality control, major die breaks like this have become increasingly scarce. This makes the 2015 P error both a collecting opportunity and an interesting snapshot of the limitations of even our most advanced production technologies. For collectors of Roosavelt dimes specifically, the 2015 P speared torch has quickly become a must-have variety. While not as valuable as the 1965 silver transitional error we discussed earlier, it represents one of the few visually dramatic Roosevelt dime errors of the 21st century. Many collectors who specialize in the Roosevelt series now consider their collection incomplete without an example, which has helped drive demand beyond just error collectors. The 2015 P speared torch dime also offers an educational window into how modern minting errors occur. Die breaks happen when the hardened steel die used to strike coins develops cracks due to metal fatigue, striking pressure, or manufacturing defects. As the die continues to strike coins, the crack widens and can produce different appearances depending on its location and severity. In the case of the 2015 P dime, the die break created a raised line on the coins because the crack in the die created a recessed channel that filled with metal during the striking process. Condition plays a particularly important role in valuing these error dimes. Since the error involves a raised element on the coin's surface, examples that entered circulation often show where precisely on the die break itself, diminishing its visibility in collector appeal. This makes uncirculated examples with a fully defined die break especially desirable and explains the significant price premium they command. For those hunting for this modern rarity, several identifying characteristics can help confirm a genuine example. The die break appears as a raised line approximately 1 mm wide that begins at the top of the torch flame and extends downward through the olive branch. The line should be raised to the touch, not incised, and maintain consistent width throughout. Some collectors have reported finding examples with slightly different positions or extents of the die break, suggesting multiple dies may have experienced similar failures, though the classic, speared torch variety remains the most sought after. Authentication can be an important consideration for higher value examples. While this error hasn't been extensively counterfeited due to its relatively modest value compared to classic rarities, some unscrupulous sellers have attempted to create fake die breaks using mechanical means. Professional grading services have authenticated thousands of genuine specimens and can reliably distinguish natural die breaks from artificial damage. One particularly interesting aspect of the 2015 speared torch dime is how quickly it gained recognition in the numismatic community. While some varieties take years or even decades to receive widespread acknowledgement, this error was documented in numismatic publications and price guides within months of its discovery. This rapid acceptance reflects both the visual appeal of the variety and the power of online collector communities in quickly disseminating information about new discoveries. For beginning collectors, the 2015 speared torch dime represents an accessible entry point into error collecting. Unlike some rarities that command thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, these can often be found for under $100, making them attainable for most collectors. Yet they still offer the thrill of owning something genuinely scarce and visually distinctive, a combination that makes them particularly appealing to those new to the hobby. The hunting aspect adds another dimension of excitement. While the odds of finding one in pocket change have diminished since 2015, dedicated searchers still occasionally discover examples in bank rolls or dealer stock where they've been overlooked. There's something particularly satisfying about finding a $50 plus coin for face value, and the 2015 speared torch dime still offers that possibility to persistent searchers. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist with decades of experience or someone who's just beginning to look more carefully at the coins in your pocket, these dimes offer both inspiration and opportunity. They prove that the hobby remains vibrant and full of discovery even in modern times, and that you don't need a massive budget to assemble a collection of genuinely scarce and historically significant pieces. So the next time you receive change or inherit a collection of old coins, take a closer look at those humble dimes. You never know, you might be holding a small silver disc worth thousands of dollars right in the palm of your hand. Happy collecting, and until next time, keep searching for those hidden treasures. Now let's shift our attention to another remarkable dime that might be lurking in your collection, the 1993 double-die obverse Roosevelt dime. While not as famous as some double-die errors like the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent, this modern rarity has steadily gained recognition among serious collectors and continues to increase in value year after year. To understand what makes the 1993 double-die obverse dime special, we need to briefly explore the minting process and how double-die errors occur. When the U.S. Mint creates the dies used to strike coins, they use a hub to impress the design into the die multiple times. If there's a slight rotation or movement between these impressions, the result is a double die, with some design elements appearing doubled. It's not a coin struck twice, as some people mistakenly believe, but rather a coin struck once with a misaligned die. The 1993 double-die obverse Roosevelt dime shows notable doubling on several key design elements on the front, obverse, of the coin. The most prominent doubling appears on the word Liberty and the date, 1993, with secondary doubling visible on the motto, "In God We Trust." When examined under magnification, you can clearly see separation in the lettering, creating a distinctive shadow effect that expert numismatists can immediately recognize as a doubled die error rather than machine doubling or other less valuable anomalies. What makes this particular error fascinating is that it occurred during a time when the Mint had implemented sophisticated quality control measures specifically designed to prevent such errors. The fact that these double dies escaped detection and entered circulation speaks to how challenging it can be to maintain perfect quality control in the high-speed, mass-production environment of modern minting. In 1993, the Philadelphia Mint alone produced over 1.4 billion dimes, making the discovery and isolation of errors increasingly difficult. The 1993 double die dime was first discovered in the mid-1990s by a collector examining rolls of dimes. Word spread quickly through numismatic publications and early internet coin forums, igniting a nationwide search. Unlike some earlier double die errors that were immediately recognized and hoarded, the 1993 double die dime had already been in circulation for some time before being identified, meaning many examples experienced wear before being rescued from circulation. In terms of rarity, the 1993 double die dime is considerably scarcer than many people realize. While the U.S. Mint doesn't release official figures for error coins, expert estimates suggest fewer than 10,000 examples exist across all grades, making it thousands of times rarer than a normal 1993 dime. This scarcity, combined with growing collector awareness, has driven steady price appreciation over the past 2 decades. The market value of the 1993 double die dime varies dramatically depending on condition. A circulated example showing moderate wear might sell for $50 to $150, while uncirculated specimens certified by major grading services can command $300 to $800. Premium examples in gem condition, MS-65 or better, with strong doubling characteristics can bring $1,000 to $2,500. In 2018, a particularly exceptional specimen graded MS-67 with full bands, denoting complete detail on the torch bands, sold for an impressive $6,600 at a specialized auction. One of the intriguing aspects of the 1993 double die dime is how its prominence in the collecting community has evolved over time. When first discovered, it was primarily pursued by error specialists. However, as awareness grew, mainstream collectors began adding it to their Roosevelt dime collections as an essential variety. Today, many consider a complete Roosevelt dime collection incomplete without this double die variant, which has significantly expanded its collector base and supported price growth. The 1993 double die also offers an interesting case study in how errors are classified and valued in modern numismatics. Double dies are categorized on a scale based on the prominence of the doubling, with the 1993 dime typically classified as a Stage 2 or Stage 3 double die, on a scale where Stage 1 shows the strongest doubling. Yet despite not being the most dramatic double die in American coinage, the 1993 dime's value has been bolstered by its status as one of the few significant Roosevelt dime errors from the modern era. For collectors fascinated by the technical aspects of minting, the 1993 double die provides an excellent learning opportunity. The doubling occurred during what experts call the hubbing process, specifically when the hub, carrying the positive image of the coin, was impressed into the die, which creates the negative image that strikes the coins. Most double dies from this era resulted from the older multiple impression hubbing process, which was later replaced by a single impression system that virtually eliminated classic double dies like this one. There's a compelling human element to the story of the 1993 double die dime as well. Several collectors who recognized the error early on and systematically searched through bank rolls were able to assemble significant holdings before prices appreciated. One Nevada collector reportedly found over 300 examples by examining more than $250,000 in face value of dimes obtained from banks between 1995 and 1998. At today's values, that initial investment of time yielded a remarkable return. Another fascinating aspect of the 1993 double die dime is how it has become a gateway error coin for many collectors. Because it's relatively affordable compared to classic double dies like the 1955 cent or 1972 penny, which can command thousands even in low grades, many collectors make the 1993 dime their first significant error purchase. This has created a special place for it in many collections and personal numismatic journeys. The search for these double die dimes continues today, with dedicated collectors still sifting through rolls of dimes hoping to find overlooked examples. While the odds of finding one in circulation now are considerably lower than in the 1990s, discoveries still occasionally happen, particularly in regions where coin collecting isn't as popular and where examples might have sat in cash registers or change jars for decades. For those looking to identify the 1993 double die dime, a 5x to 10x magnifying glass is essential. Focus first on the word "Liberty" along the rim, where the doubling is most pronounced. Look for a distinct separation between the primary and secondary impressions, not just a blurry or mushy appearance, which could indicate machine doubling, a much more common and less valuable anomaly. The doubling on the date is also quite distinctive, with a clear secondary image visible below and slightly to the right of the primary digits. Counterfeit and altered coins have unfortunately become a concern with valuable varieties like the 1993 doubled die. Some unscrupulous sellers have attempted to create fake doubled dies through various methods, including acid treatments or mechanical manipulation. This makes professional authentication particularly important for high-value examples. Reputable grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated thousands of genuine specimens and can reliably distinguish the real double dies from imitations. In terms of long-term investment potential, the 1993 double die dime presents an interesting case. While it may never reach the legendary status, or price levels, of the 1955 double die cent or the 1937 D three-legged buffalo nickel, it has demonstrated consistent appreciation over decades. As the coin collecting hobby continues to grow and more collectors assemble complete Roosevelt dime sets, demand for this key modern variety seems likely to increase. The story of the 1993 double die dime also reflects broader trends in American coinage during the late 20th century. As the mint modernized its production processes and implemented new quality control measures, major errors became increasingly scarce. This makes the 1993 double die one of the last significant double die errors of its type, representing the end of an era in American minting history, a fact that adds historical significance beyond its monetary value.